Over-the-road trucking. Let's talk about it for a second. Over-the-road trucking. For new drivers, you probably might have to sacrifice. I get it. I understand it. Veteran drivers, though, over-the-road trucking, especially veteran drivers that got families. We want a work-life balance, don't we? Listen, over-the-road trucking got to be one of the most absurd career choices anybody can choose. But going into 2026, you're going to have to probably rethink that option. And here's why. Now, historically, over-the-road trucking.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
I understand entry-level positions. I really do. Entry-level carriers are not going to pay a lot. You're a new driver. You don't know a lot at that time. But historically, the reason why guys are willing to make that type of sacrifice, living in the truck, being confined to the truck, basically working weeks on end away from their families, friends, personal lives. As hard as that is, the reason why guys have done it, such as myself, is because it's supposed to afford them the ability to make a substantial amount of money. You figure you have to go over the road. You have to stay out all the time to make that kind of money, or to at least make the money that you hope to make. But in 2026, though, as I research all these companies out here, I look at Glassdoor, I look at Indeed, I Google search, I look at Facebook ads, I look at these recruiter TikToks. I see driving companies all over social media. I see all of the job sites. I see them all saying the same thing. They saying what their company can offer. 2 weeks, 3 weeks out for 60 cents or 50 cents or 70. I haven't seen 70, but there is a trucking company that is offering 70 cents, but you got to be out for damn near a month in order to get that elusive 70 cent amount.
Hold on.
Good morning, Canby.
Hi, this is Mike Keene. Are you hiring out of, I live in Myrtle Beach.
I can definitely hire out of your area. It's 2 months on the road, 10 full days off at a premium rate of 70 cents per mile.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So 8 weeks out, 10 days off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I mean, that's definitely not a deal breaker for me.
These companies that's offering those type of money, 50, 60, 70. See, these companies expect you to be out for 4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks. Let me say it again. 4 to 8 weeks. That is crazy. 4 weeks is a month. 8 weeks is 2 months. But listen, though, to do that type of job, that is not the type of money that you should be accepting to live in a truck and to literally not have a life for yourself. A month, 2 months away from your family? That's just diabolical. That is shocking. That is just abysmal right there. I can't see it. But listen, though, here's the thing that a lot of us truck drivers is not talking about, and a lot of us is not telling you, is that if you look hard enough, you can probably find a home daily job, a regional job, a job that you can probably find out and back type job. You could be home every night or maybe a couple of nights out the week type job. You can have your full weekends off type job. And you're going to make as much, if not more than that. Just think of it this way. As an experienced truck driver with years behind their back. Because truck drivers like those are the ones that's looking for the balance, the stability. Those are the ones that's looking for a work-life balance. Now, see some of these trucking companies that offer that, it's elusive. And you got to look real hard for them. They're out there, though. You look at food service, for example. Food service like Cisco, US Foods, Performance Foods. Look at companies like those. Maybe Tankers, because a lot of Tankers is food grade. Look at them. But when you do look at them, understand this, that you're going to have to put into work. But at least you're home, not every single day, maybe every other day. And at least you have a full weekend off. And you're probably going to make a lot more money than the most OTR guys are making. And look at it. To literally live in a confined truck, I honestly don't understand why veteran drivers are still doing it. Unless you have no family and you don't mind being out for that amount of time. Now, a lot of drivers, I get it. I know a lot of you going to come in the comment section and say, yo, I do it all the time because I want to save money. I want to use this as a stepping stone. And I get it. And as for new drivers that's just getting into the industry, listen, you are the exception because you're going to have to cut your teeth and get your feet wet with these larger mega carriers, because those are the only ones that's going to give you a chance to get behind the wheel of a truck anyway. But we all know, I know that the pay is horrendous, right? But that's the whole mega carrier's model. Even for the experienced drivers like myself, the pay is laughable at best.
You're average looking at best.
The amount of cent per mile that they're offering a veteran driver after 10 years plus is just crazy work out there. Now, let's put a pause on this for a second, because Warner, and I will probably, about time this video will come out, that video would already be out. It will be out sometime because I want to talk about that too. They just purchased a trucking company called First Fleet for $200 million. I decided to call that company and talk to the recruiter, knowing that now that First Fleet is now part of Warner, I was kind of wondering what would be the going rate. Now, the going rate, again, is between 50 and 60 cents a mile. But I figured since they acquired First Fleet, you would think with all of the freight that they got coming in, you would think that they will offer a better CPM, at least for veteran drivers. That's not the case. 50 cents a mile for an over-the-road driver to be out for 2 weeks or more. 50 cents now. I said, is that for a driver that got 10 years plus? Yeah, that's the starting rate. 10 years plus.
Hold on.
Yeah, 48 state over the road is going to be less. They're at 50 cents a mile right now, out for 3 weeks and home for 3 days.
Out for how many weeks? And out for how many weeks for how much?
Out for 3 weeks. Out for 3 weeks and home for 3 days, and they're getting 50 cents a mile.
I just mentioned that I was over 10 years, right? I did mention that to you.
Yep,
right?
that's with your experience.
Yeah. 50 cents.
Yep, the 50 cents is with your experience.
That is crazy. Now, for veteran drivers, experienced drivers that still with companies like Warner, I don't know why experienced drivers stick with them. Maybe it's for whatever reason. If you're a veteran driver with a mega carrier still, let me know, why are you still with that mega carrier? Maybe it's because you are making a little bit more than what you was making when you started. And if you started at 50 cents and you've been there for 10 plus years, you should be at least, I don't know, close to 70, 75 cents a mile at least, right? 10 years. You started at 50 cents at the bottom in the first year. 10 years later, you should be, I don't know, damn near 90. But if you, like myself, and you say to yourself, self, there has to be something. I'm not seeing it. I got to look. Well, self, this is what you do. Try looking at small to mid-sized carriers. Now, let me put a pause on that for a second, because some small to mid-sized carriers, they got their bullshit too, okay? They got their bullshit too, but they do pay a smidget more than what the mega carriers are paying. But just know, drivers, that those type carriers, the mid, the small carriers, they are looking for experience. They're looking for the drivers that know what they're doing, how they doing, and they don't need no help in what they're doing. They're going to need that. They're going to need that. See, drivers, I'm seeing flatbed jobs. I'm seeing tanker jobs. I'm seeing specialized jobs. I'm seeing city jobs. I'm seeing tow truck jobs. I'm seeing garbage truck jobs. I'm seeing dump truck jobs. I'm seeing them all. These companies where you could expect a lot more, but you have to have the experience to work these jobs. These are the jobs that want people with at least 2 to 3 years of experience. Not only that, they want them to have a spotless record as well. So again, think about the mega carriers and these companies that want your soul.
Your soul is mine.
Look at their benefit package. They're horrible. Their home time is garbage. Their dispatchers are disrespectful. They want people to live in the truck for 50 to 60 cents a mile with terrible benefits, abysmal home time, where you definitely is going to get treated pretty poorly. And again, like I said, drivers, let me know in the comments below. Because if you are getting treated well, you're the ones that say, I'll work for a company where I'm treated poorly if they pay me good enough. Only to come online and say, oh man, this company is a no-go. This company is no good. They're robbing me. They're effing me. They're messing with me financially, personally, mentally. So driver, why are you still doing it? Why are you still driving for them if they doing that to you? I know there will be drivers, and I want you to come in the comment section. I want you to let me know why. I want you to know that I hear you. I hear you when you say, I'm doing it because it fits my lifestyle and I like it. But let's be honest, though. I'm really not talking to you. But I do want to know why. But who I'm talking about is the people who actually have family at home, who actually have a life outside of driving, and not to live confinement in a truck, right? Those are the ones who I'm really talking to. But for those that want to let me know why they doing it, I'm curious. I'm here. I'm interested. But for real though, I'm talking about the people who want to have a work-life balance. Why are you still driving over the road? Why are you still sacrificing for a mega carrier that wouldn't even give 2S about you? Because I promise you, drivers, if you look hard enough, right? And if you're willing to put in the work, that means you will happen to touch the freight, especially if you're in food service. You're going to have to get up super early, get home at about 5 o'clock. At least you got that pootie at home waiting on you. Get that clap session in to get you motivated to get back up at 6, 5, 4 in the morning. That clap session should be that motivation, right? You might, driver, you might can find a job where you're going to make just as much money as if you was over the road, but with less over the road. So I'm not trying to discourage you, drivers. I'm just giving you the information that nobody else is talking about.